Alright, great. So could you just say your full name and spelling as well?
Yeah, David Holbeck, DAVID HOLBECK.
And how long have you been working in security?
10 years.
And this is your company, Entourage Security?
Yes, it is.
Okay, when did you start that?
2007.
And how many staff do you employ?
Sorry?
How many staff do you employ?
At the moment we've only got 4 staff.
And so what kind of work do you guys do?
We do film and TV, we do patrols, we do private parties, bit of crowd control, yeah, pretty much just about everything in security we do.
Okay. And has that always been on the Gold Coast?
Yes.
And what kind of training accreditation do you require your staff to have?
Just a certificate 2 at a minimum, which gets you the licence. You got the licence, you're good to work.
And so how do you view the Gold Coast as a safe place?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And it's nightlife?
Sorry?
And it's nightlife as well?
Yeah, I think it's alright. Yeah. Like anywhere you got your points and your bad points, but I think generally you're right to walk wherever you want to walk most of the time.
Okay. And do you think security has a lot to contribute to that? To the safeness?
Well, yeah, when you get to someone's property, yeah, absolutely. In general, walking the streets, I don't think that's really part of what we do.
Okay. And do you think there's enough support for the industry from government and police?
Sorry?
Do you think there's enough support for the industry from government and police?
Well, we'd like the police to probably get to problems we have a little quicker, but generally speaking, yeah, it's okay. Yeah.
And what kind of problems do you guys have?
Well, if we attend a break-in and there's people there, and you really want police there as quick as possible, especially if there's more of them than there are of us, which 99% of the time there is. Because we just do everything by ourselves. So, yeah, we go rock up to a break-in, we're by ourselves, we might have another car maybe 20 minutes away. So, yeah.
Okay. And how do you train your staff to deal with those kinds of situations?
Keep themselves safe first, is the main thing. Basically the number one rule is don't put yourself in a position where you're going to get hurt. That's the number one thing. Pretty much anything after that is just, the old saying that they had is observe and report, and we try and stick to that as much as we can, yeah.
Have you ever had any cases where staff or yourself have been involved in?
Not so much, no. We, normally when we get there, that's 100% of the time in my personal case and my staff's case, they don't stick around, they're not combative, they run. So, we're generally pretty slow, so we're not very likely to catch them. So.
And do you think there is a lot of crime on the Gold Coast?
I think there's a fair bit of crime. I don't think it's as bad as it's probably put forward. Obviously the unfortunate thing that happened in Pack Mines, I think maybe something like that always puts it in the forefront of people's minds, and that's what's happening at the moment. But I've lived in worse places for sure. Yeah, I think it's bad, but I don't think it's too bad. It doesn't impact 99% of the people really that live here.
Sorry, go for it. No, what's your favourite part about the job?
About the job?
Or your least favourite, if that's easier to start with.
We're invisible most of the time, like we could stand in a room of 100 people and it's like we're not even there, and maybe for my personality type that's fine for me.
Yeah.
The good part for me is I find it's quite free, like doing patrols where I can drive around the coast and I can put on some music and cruise around and do the work, do it as good as I can, and then move on to the next place. I find that a lot better than being cooped up in an office or.
What do you think about the image that the security industry has? Do you think it's
I don't think it's changed, although the industry has changed. I think a lot of people think of, particularly some areas of security like your crowd control, your bouncers and that, I think people think of them as quite thuggy. It's all but pushed out. When I started, you were kind of expected in all forms of security, if you needed to you know, protect yourself, and then maybe even a little bit more than that. And then now it's like you protect yourself first, and then. But with bouncers, I think they have a bad reputation. I think that's old school security. Back when it was, you know, when it was a little bit more thuggy. I mean, we're so well regulated now. The fingerprints coming in soon, if not now. There's no room for thugs, and I think give another 5 years, there won't be any.
Have you witnessed any cases of thuggish security behaviour yourself?
No, I haven't personally myself, no. Some of my staff have, but you know, that was a group of security guards dealing with a public situation, and they probably went a bit over the top.
Okay. And why did most of your guards want to join the industry? Why do you think most people do?
I'm not sure how many people do it because they have a plethora of other options. I mean, realistically, it's good money for someone. I might seem overly practical here, but I think it's good money for someone who has no formal education of any kind, and it's reasonable. It's good hours. You'll generally get fairly good hours if you're good at the job. And you know, sometimes it's hard to get hours in other industries where we quite often have heaps to go around. The hard workers. So, yeah.
You don't think people joining or becoming security guards because they're on that power trip and they want to be able to?
Yeah, okay, yes, some do. Thankfully, no one who works for me. I think they're pretty easy to spot. You know, we just call them cowboys. From the way they dress, you can tell in 5 minutes if someone is a cowboy. And there are still plenty around, but you know, there is no power trip in this. If people are getting to security looking for a power trip, I'm not going to find it. Not maybe in a bouncer type situation, you might have that opportunity, but for the most part, you can feel like the most insignificant person in the room. So that's not really a power trip.
And so you don't really offer the bouncing service?
Well, we do, but the best. It's all about communication, you know, and that's why we stay out of trouble. We have very few incidents of problems because we can communicate, and everyone who works for me can communicate. If they can't, I'll find something else for them to do. But if you're looking to fight, then you'll always find a way to get into a fight. If that's something you want to avoid, and you want, you know, the time you're working to go smoothly, then you learn to communicate and you do the best at it. And normally that's enough.
That's all the questions I have.
Yeah, no, I think it's good. I think it's a good step.
Do you mind me asking how old you are?
I'm 32.
And you're living in Robina?
Yes.
Thanks.
Awesome.
No worries.